things.
What is your name?
My name is Tom Hoover.
And where were you born, Tom, and what year?
I was born in Torrance, California in 1945.
And what brought you to Sausalito, Tom?
I'm fleeing Los Angeles, and that was the time of the Summer of Love. I went to school in Santa Fe. I went to the Santa Fe campus of St. John's, and I wanted to get away, and I had friends from up here. The I Ching says, those whose hearts are hurt, they gradually gather together. And so many of us came here.
And what year did you move here to?
And I first came here in '64 because my friends were going to Berkeley, and I came up for Christmas. And then I moved to the heliport on the Ides of August 1968. I worked in Sausalito, walked along the railroad tracks. They were still there. And so I worked there and lived in Sausalito.
So you've been here for a good long time. What kind of changes have you seen here?
Beaky Junction, our boatyard. There was a boatyard here that was destroyed. That was Bob's boatyard. That was been there. Was originally Arquez, their family originally owned this, and that goes back to, we have pictures going back to 1892, and it was originally going to the final stages of World War II. The barges for invading Japan were going to be built here, as well as, of course, all of the things that were built in the Marin ship. They tried over the years to get rid of the Napa Street Pier, which had been originally built in order to take part in the sardine fishery, which by overfishing collapsed. They were trying to evict us for several years during the late 70s, and then the property was bought by a man named Bosco, and so they came in on August 5th at 5 o'clock in the morning with the police and the fire department and started tearing down the boatyard without giving any notice. And so that's why we're still here, is because in the end we sued them, and the city knew that, and so we made a deal with the city that they wouldn't oppose us doing all of the legal things to build us if we didn't sue them for how much they might have been owed each of us for violating our civil rights.
Wow, that's amazing that you were part of that history.
Well, some of us are still here. I remember coming that morning. And in fact, one of the things that I've never forgotten, now you may not have heard of Diane Karasik, but she's a famous, waterfront artist.
Okay.
And she had her studio on the upstairs. She was trying to bring things down, and this guy was running up, and she was coming down the stairs carrying stuff, and this guy was going to start tearing down the stairs with the bobcat while they were trying to do it, and I was behind him, and I picked up a big brick and said, "You better not," and he turned around. I've never forgotten. He says, "I'm just doing what I was told to. I'm just following orders."
What do you love most about living here?
We have a community.
Is there a special memory you'd like to share of your time here?
The problem is there's actually so many working at the Historical Society. All of the things that we used to do. The loss of my boy, who died in a kayak accident.
Thank you for sharing your story.
It was originally a Tibetan woodcut, and Diane Karasik painted this up for me from that woodcut. This is the Dragon Lady Puff. The three little pufflings, Smokin', Token, and Sue.
And tell me again who painted these?
Diane Karasik.